so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory and for advance peace, prosperity, and welfare of our county and of those interests you have committed to our church. Amen. Clerk, confirm whether we have quorum.
Honorable Speaker, quorum is not present.
Okay, we direct the office of Sergeant Atam. The bell be rung for 10 minutes.
Honorable Speaker, quorum is now present.
Order of business.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, papers, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Next order.
Order number 8, motion.
Honorable Majority.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, aware that, Mr. Speaker, allow me to move a motion of adjournment of the County Assembly. Aware that the County Assembly is to be in session in accordance with the County Assembly calendar, approved as per Standing Order 29(1) and 2. Further aware that the Standing Order 28(1) provides that the County Assembly may, by resolution, alter its sittings dates specified in respect of a particular session, whereas Standing Order 28(3) provides that the County Assembly shall continue to be in session and may adjourn for such a number of days as it may determine in its calendar. Following a message to this House from His Excellency the Governor on nomination of the County Executive Committee members, and taking into consideration Section 7(3) of the Public Appointment, that is County Assembly Approval Act 2017, which obligates the County Assembly to hold its approval hearing in a public place and during the working hours, noting that the clerk of this County Assembly, through an advert appearing on the dailies on the 25 October 2023, has notified the general public that the approval hearings will be held on 14 and 15 November 2023 at the Assembly chambers. Considering the strict constitutional timelines that this House is expected to dispense of the appointment process, this House therefore resolved to adjourn its sitting of 14 and 15 November 2023 and resume on Thursday, 16 November 2023 at 2:30 p.m. so as to facilitate the Appointments Committee to carry out its constitutional mandate of public hearings on approval of the County Executive Committee nominees in the chambers. Honorable Speaker, I think since morning we have been working on the Appointment Committee by interrogating on the CEC's Honorable Speaker as advertised in the Gazette. And Honorable Speaker, because Wednesday we have been in the Assembly for the morning and afternoon session, I wish that I move this motion so that we can use this Assembly for the same exercise, Honorable Speaker. I call upon Honorable Sangute to second.
Thank you, the Majority Leader. Honorable members, I now propose that this House therefore resolves to adjourn its sitting of 14 and 15 November 2023 and resume on Thursday 16, 2023 at 2:30, so as to facilitate the Appointment Committee to carry out its constitutional mandate on public hearings on approval of the County Executive Committee nominee in the chambers be discussed. Members, the floor is open for discussion. Honorable members, since this is not a substantive motion, honorable members, I now put a question.
I have something to say, Honorable Speaker.
What is it, Honorable, before I put the question, because you had to, on the said motion?
I do not know whether you are in order to just propose a motion and put the question without us discussing it.
Honorable, I thought I said the floor is open for discussion.
Yeah, but
And then there was no member who stood on the same. Maybe we want to discuss. I will give you an opportunity to discuss on the said motion, Honorable Shangu.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker. Is it in order for Honorable Minor, who is a senior member, to tell the Speaker you are out of order?
No, it is very wrong, Honorable Majority. You are right, Honorable. You are out of order, Honorable Majority. And Honorable members, I thought I said this motion to be discussed, and no member rose on the said motion. That's why I went further by asking you, by requesting you that if you are not in a position to say anything, that was my agenda, is to put the question. Maybe Honorable Maina.
okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker. I did not anticipate a situation where you might want to be a little bit on a hurry to dispose of the issue in such a quick fashion. But all the same, thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Honorable Maina, you are not in order because I gave an opportunity to every member. Nobody rose on the said motion. So you can contribute, but don't talk on the said motion always, Honorable. You only contribute on the same. So you contribute, but I've given you the opportunity. If you have an opportunity to discuss, let me give you an opportunity to discuss on the said motion.
Yes, I wish to oppose the motion for adjournment, considering the circumstances in which the said appointments came to the House. I'd like to, while I'm opposing the motion, request the members to agree with me that the time that is allocated to this House is valuable and it should be used for the benefit of the people of Nandi at all times. And it should also, this House should also conduct itself in a lawful manner. You would be aware, Honorable Speaker, that the reason that occasioned these appointments was as a result of a court ruling, in which case there was an express order, which I think this House is in receipt of, requiring that the appointing authority advertises. I would like to invite you, Honorable Speaker, even as we proceed, to make a ruling on this subject and to advise the House whether indeed we are not proceeding contemptuously. And indeed, I think also the Honorable Governor has proceeded to the court, and there is an appeal that is alive at the moment. Would it be in order for this House to adjourn, ostensibly to perform a constitutional mandate, yet we have not satisfied ourselves that the communication has come to us in the right format, having satisfied all the requirements that are set out, and even if it is not in the ruling, then in the same Appointments Act that I have seen here quoted, the same act requires that such a thing be done. And so I would wish, Honorable Speaker, as I oppose this motion, and request honorable members to agree with me, that it would be foolhardy, it would not be nice for us to embarrass our county by embarking on issues that will finally be again adjudged to be illegal and to be something that we should not have been seized of in the first place. So these are my points, Honorable Speaker, and I would like to wish that if it was possible let this house continue normally until you make such a ruling, even including the advice from the legal team, which I think there is a possibility, because you are a member of the leadership, I think there is a possibility that the House is in receipt of such an advice.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, under standing order number
90.
Yes, Honorable Kevolwe.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I don't know whether Honorable Shangu is actually correctly saying that there is a court order barring us from continuing with the exercise that has been taking place. I thought maybe you could substantiate so that we could all be in the same category or level.
Honorable Shangu, can you substantiate your accuracy of facts on the issue of the court order? Is it there? And if you have, you can table. If it is not there, maybe we cannot discuss something that is not in this house.
Well, we are not discussing a court order in this sense. What I am saying is this, Honorable Speaker. The court order, and I'm sure it is in this house, should be in this house.
Point of order.
Honorable Milka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've seen Honorable Member Shangu is talking with accuracy that there is a court order. Where is it? We have not seen. We are now going as per the order paper. So there is nothing else. So let's continue. We don't want talking. Give us evidence. We don't have here.
Honorable Speaker, I would like you to protect me. I did not indicate that there was such a document that I want to produce. I didn't say that. And I didn't say that there is such a document that is supposed to stop the proceedings of this House. I didn't say that. I have said this, and I'm discussing the motion.
Yeah, the motion.
I have opposed this motion, but at the same time, Honorable Speaker, I have requested you to make a ruling on whether the manner in which the communication from the governor were in order before we proceed. Of course, you have the option of just not saying that you will not do it. But that is my request, that this House should not be led to do things that are contemptuous to the court. Because this is not a normal appointment. You will remember that the same group of people that you are looking at today were already here. So it is not a normal appointment, Honorable Speaker. That's what I'm saying. And I'm imploring the House. And this is not idle talk. I'm imploring the House. I am saying to you, honorable members, let us not embarrass ourselves. That is all I'm saying.
Honorable
But
Shangu.
if you want us to embarrass ourselves, that is fine.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, point of order, Honorable Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I think when the ruling was being made by Honorable Speaker, I think Honorable Minor was absent. He was in US for a personal trip, Honorable Speaker. And the ruling was made in this House, Honorable Speaker. Unless there is another new court order that has been sent to this assembly. Otherwise, the Speaker dispense that ruling on that day, Honorable Speaker, when he was tabling the...
Fair enough, Majority Leader. Honorable Martin Toklas.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we need to be very, very careful and very cautious, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Is it in order to
for you to give Honorable Martin Douglas, while the majority leader had risen on point of order. Is it another point of order or Honorable from...
Honorable majority has suspended the dispense his contribution, and then I was giving also honorable after the majority leader. It was also on a point of order after they had finished a point of order. So Honorable Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for protecting me, Mr. Speaker. I think necessarily, Mr. Speaker, you are not supposed to be on a point of order so that you can contribute in this House. You can even contribute without being on a point of order, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was actually saying this, Mr. Speaker, that yes, we are cognizant of the fact that there was actually a communication from the court that to suspend the CECs, and the communication was made from the court. Subsequently, actually, His Excellency the Governor proceeded and gave out the list of the nominees to this House. To the best of my understanding, Mr. Speaker, is that whether the Governor did whatever he was told by the court, is actually not a problem of this House. It is only if there is any contemptuous of court, it will not be indicted to this House. It will only be indicted to the Governor's office for not complying to the court order. But unless there is another new court order, Mr. Speaker, that bars this House from actually going on with the process of vetting, then we are law-abiding citizens, and we will stand, Mr. Speaker, and we will not continue doing the vetting, Mr. Speaker. But as it stands, Mr. Speaker, then I support the adjournment of the House, Mr. Speaker, for the next meeting.
Honorable Martin, it's okay, it is in order. Honorable members, we are not supposed to discuss something that is not in this House. And if allowed, we are only discussing on the said motion, and if there is anything, we will be communicated later. But now what is at hand is discussing the motion of adjournment to allow the vetting process to continue by the appointment committee. So if there is any communication further, will be made by substantive speaker for the same ruling. So what is at hand now is discussion of the adjournment motion for that exercise to continue. Honorable Deputy Majority.
Then, because you are the chair, you can call a Kamugunji thereafter, then we can talk. So, let us adjourn the assembly as stated by the majority leader. Thank you.
Honorable, thank you. Honorable Matata.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I stand to support the adjournment motion. But before I proceed, Mr. Speaker, sir, I had sought a statement. Now that you know now, it seems now there is now some fights with the legal team. I had sought a statement, Mr. Speaker, sir, from the substantive speaker, whether the court ruling was also an indictment to this House. I had sought that statement, but so far the speaker has not ruled on that. Now, Mr. Speaker, sir, because I want to support the sentiments by Honorable Balala that if there is any other development that is not before this House, I think that one will be communicated later. But constitutionally, Mr. Speaker, sir, this House is mandated to vet the CECs, the CEC nominees. So it is my request that unless the Honorable Maina from Oleso Sword knows any other information, what is besides what we know in this House, I think it is good to give the appointment committee time to carry out with their mandate. You find even, Mr. Speaker, sir, today we've not done the committees because of the composition of the committees. Some of the members in the other committees are the same members who are in the committee on an appointment. So it is good we adjourn so that we suspend all the other activities in this house until until on Thursday, so that all the committees will resume normally and the other businesses of this house to resume normally after the committee on appointment is done with the vetting process that is before us. So otherwise, if Honorable Shangu, if you have any other information, you hold on your houses. Let us continue with the procedures of this house until other time. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable, thank you, Honorable Matata. Honorable Mosby. Member Kaptumo Kaboy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity to contribute on this very important motion. I want to remind members that indeed the interest of the great people of Nandi comes before anything else. The manner in which our businesses, like honorable members have alluded to, have stalled should not be allowed. And indeed, I want to say that going by what started this morning, I would only say that the train has left the station, the process has started, and if in case, and that is why when I rose on point of order, I really wanted you, Mr. Speaker, to allow the honorable member from Lesos, perhaps if he had been allowed full time, maybe he would have divulged what he has so that the rest of us also make a decision. So as it is, Mr. Speaker, looking at the timeline in which it has been allocated, we would rather move very fast with the whole process. There are procedures. The committee on appointment will table its report. And that report, we will debate the report. And looking at the entire process, we can as well raise our objections at that stage so that the whole thing can be nullified depending on what has gone on. So, Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the motion of adjournment and just read the mood and put the question so that we continue with the process. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Mosbe, you are contributing and you are denying the other members' chance. And it's true that this is not a substantive motion. Maybe Honorable Esther, and then I'll give one so that we can chart the mood of the House.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Allow me, Mr. Speaker, to stand and support the motion on adjournment of County Assembly, Mr. Speaker. And I'll want to differ with other members, Mr. Speaker, who have spoken earlier, who are already predicting the outcome of the vetting, Mr. Speaker. We'll give the appointment committee to do their job, and thereafter, Mr. Speaker, any other discussion will follow later. But I believe, Mr. Speaker, this House is guided by standing orders and rules of this House, Mr. Speaker. The message from the governor were passed to this House, and it was read by the Speaker, Mr. Speaker. And if there is anything else that was supposed to be done outside this County Assembly, Mr. Speaker, it's not our duty to go outside there and do the research if the members were advertised or not, Mr. Speaker. The duty of this House, Mr. Speaker, is to follow the process that is there. And if there will be anything that will change, Mr. Speaker, then it will come thereafter, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, let's give the appointment committee time, Mr. Speaker, to continue with their duty to ensure that the nominees that were forwarded to this House are vetted, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, due to time, Mr. Speaker, I stand to support this motion for adjournment until when the process of vetting will be done. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, members. Let me give, I've seen Honorable Sarah Mutwal, Member Kosirai.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Okay, I'm here to tell the House that the motion on the floor is for adjournment and nothing else. But let us not put aside what the honorable member from Lesotho have said. In the Old Testament, God used the prophet to warn the children of Israel of whatever was coming ahead. Maybe we have Mr. Shangu, honorable member from Lesotho, giving a warning here of what is coming. So as we proceed with that journey, let us not just put it aside like that. Let us have it in our minds that the honorable member from Lesotho has spoken his mind. And then let us not rubbish whatever he has said, because we don't know about the outcome. We only know that the motion which is at hand is just this one for adjournment. And if we are to serve our people, so at times we have to put some reasoning before all the adjournments. So actually we have debated, we have said whatever we have said, the public have heard why we are now adjourning. So we can adjourn. Thank you.
Honorable members, Honorable Saya Minor was contributing. And there is nobody, no members disagree with Honorable Minor. But what is at hand is the adjournment motion. And if at all we have any other information, we will get to know when we get there. So if we preempt an information or a document, the way that I said by Honorable Ezra, this is the House of Procedures, Honorable members. And this is the House of what? It's not the House of propaganda. It's not the House of saying what was said yesterday. It is the House that we are debating on the adjournment. And if there is any, Honorable Shangu, you are the prophet of doom or you are prophet of what?
Can I make a clarification, Honorable Speaker?
Clarify.
Since many members have said something about me and even including yourself, may I make a clarification? I am saying that this House, each one of us swore to protect the Constitution. I am saying that this House is guided by the law. I am also saying that there is an active appeal by the appointing authority, disagreeing with the judgment. I am also saying that the judgment has not been set aside. And so I am saying also, Honorable Speaker, that we should not take the Nandi people in cycles. Even those nominees, they should not be subjected to circumstances where they come here, sit down, and that's tomorrow. Like for instance, the first nominee, you know very well that he was here. He was in this House. Today, he has also come. Would you like him to come a third time? And so this House must satisfy itself that we are doing a legal thing. We cannot say now that we are blind, that we don't live in Nandi, that we don't live in Kenya. Somehow we are blinded. That is what I'm saying, Honorable Speaker. And I have requested you, Honorable Speaker, there is no problem with the question of whether we would like to adjourn now or tomorrow or any other day. But why don't you make a substantive ruling and say if there is an order that says to the appointing authority, do the following? Have you not satisfied yourself that those nominees were done, that the nomination was done well? So this is the question.
Honorable Shangu,
Point of information, Mr. Speaker. Point of information, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable, what about the Honorable Matata? Point of information or order?
Point of order.
Okay. And then you will be informed who, Honorable Malala. Honorable Matata?
I think, Mr. Speaker, sir, as much as my friend from Oleso Sword is trying to argue his case, there is no court order, to the best of our knowledge, in this House barring the vetting process. Whether the governor went and unpicked his friends, either he dreamt and put the names there, that is not our business. Whether he advertised, that is not our business. Our business is to do what is required of us. And I know, by virtue of the Appointment Act 2017, the vetting committee are using that act to vet the nominees that have been submitted to this House. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, unless the honorable member from Olesos knows that there is a court order that is injuncting this House not to vet the nominees that were submitted by His Excellency the Governor, I think he should come clear on that. And any communication that has not been made by the Honorable Speaker is null and void in this House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Martin Douglas, the information.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I just want to inform the whole House, Mr. Speaker. I mean, we should not take ourselves in circle, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I agree with the sentiments from our friends, our colleague from Lesos. It is indeed, Mr. Speaker, before the ruling of the court, there was a breach of constitution. That was before the order came from the court. And after the court ruled that the governor should actually do whatever was indicated in the order, it is not subjected to this House. The communication from the Speaker, Mr. Speaker, the communication from the Speaker then is enough, Mr. Speaker, for the appointment committee, Mr. Speaker, to continue, Mr. Speaker. And we cannot today, Mr. Speaker, because as it has been said by him, that this House is a house of law. We cannot today, Mr. Speaker, stop the process of this House based on an order that has been overtaken by events. We are law-abiding citizens. Yes, we know that there is an appeal that has been made by the executive to quash the ruling from the High Court. But again, Mr. Speaker, there is no substantive order from the same court that stopped the process of vetting from going on. Unless there is a new one, Mr. Speaker, apart from the then order, then we will stop. But if there is no any other order, Mr. Speaker, that impedes the implementation committee from vetting the nominees, then, Mr. Speaker, we will do our work. But unless, if there is another order coming in the process, in the mid of doing the whole thing, we will abide by the law. We will stop the process and we wait for the verdict from the court, Mr. Speaker. But for now, Mr. Speaker, let us be very gentle to ourselves. And let us be very gentle to the people of this county. Yes, we recognize the fact that there was a breach of constitution then, but I mean, as it has been said by the honorable member from Kaptumo, the train has taken the stage. We are on move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Martin, I think you have informed the House. And I've seen honorable members, I have two members. Let me give Honorable Pirech and then Milka, so that we can conclude this motion to allow us, the session has left, the pass has left to the station.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for allowing me this opportunity to comment on a discussion that is ongoing now. Honorable Speaker, I don't know why should you allow us to discuss an item with an hot air. I don't know why should you allow we discuss on an item that has already been received on this honorable House.
Honorable Pirech, I stopped that discussion on the said document because unless we receive the said document, we will discuss. Otherwise, we were supposed to discuss on the motion of from the majority leader on the Appointment Committee.
Thank you. So, I want to say, Speaker, that I support the motion of an adjournment so that we give them an appointment committee to work on vetting and to table officially its report. And then we come and proceed with a normal procedure. Otherwise, the motion at hand, I fully support. Thank you.
Honorable Birech, Honorable Milka.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand to support the motion of adjournment because this is what we have now at hand. As Honorable Sarah has said that we have prophets that will see far or that will tell us something. I will also say that in the Bible, there is also a saying that let us eat what we have today. That is what the Bible says. And I want to say we are going to use what we have now here today as the Bible tells us. I support we adjourn.
Thank you. Honorable members, I now put a question that this House therefore resolves to adjourn its sitting on 14 and on 15 November 2023 and resume on Thursday 16 November 2023 at 2:30 p.m. so as to facilitate the appointment committee to carry out its constitutional mandate on public hearings on approval of the county executive nominee in the chambers. Will as many of a similar opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many of a contrary opinion say nay?
Nay.
The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 9, adjournment.
So members being no any other business, this House stands adjourned until Thursday 2:30 p.m.